border.
Okay.
And so they set themselves on fire. Some in front
Wow.
of their children. They set themselves on fire
To avoid the rape.
to avoid the rape. Because the stigma of rape, means that nobody will marry you, or
So that means, okay, so the stigma of rape means you're damaged goods and you're not worthy of a husband.
right.
But that's not your fault.
No, of course. But it's the idea because no matter where you go, women are the most objectified, right? So your value as a woman is being a virgin, being this, being true to your husband, being, so on and so forth. So, when you devalue somebody or value somebody only on one part of their body and say that's the total of your worth.
Wow.
Because here in the United States, I was reading last 2 weeks, a week ago, a young woman in Illinois, she was South Indian, was getting, street harassed, catcalled, and she refused. She said, no, go away. And they raped her, and they killed her in Illinois, right? And in India, last week too, another woman, her moped break down, and she was looking for help, and these guys said, we'll help you. And she said, no,
She felt the vibe.
she felt the vibe. And she said, no, I can handle it myself. And they said, no, and they took her bike, and they raped her, and they set her on fire, killed her, right? So no matter where you go, women still experience the same thing. But the point of it is, though,
Here's a great thing. Like my friend, I think she went to North Carolina to visit her family, right?
yeah.
And she was with her niece. But the crazy thing was, they said, you see the white vans, a lot of white vans. They're saying that people driving around with white vans are kidnapping women and girls.
Oh, wow.
And what happened was, she was with her niece, and she was they were in the car or whatever, the truck or whatever, and a white van pulled up not that far away. So the niece automatically said, hey, that's one of those vans, and she locked the doors to the vehicle automatically.
Wow. Yeah, see?
And somebody over here was talking recently, like somebody in a white van tried to kidnap somebody.
Wow. See? Same thing. No matter where you go. And, the difference, though, is in Turkey, Syria, when these things happen, you have massive protests. Big protests. In India, when this just happened, they protest. The police, line up in the street, but the women there, they're, slamming through the barricades, so on and so forth. But when this woman died in Illinois, right? Not a word.
Nobody said anything?
Nobody said. You don't see any protests. You don't see any of these things, right? Because you see all these people talk here about all these things.
Yeah, but nobody wants to take action.
Doing, right? It's like I read.
You want to hear yourself talk.
Right. Trump yesterday said, well, they released this thing from Trump yesterday, right? He plans to kick 700,000 people off of food stamps, right? And that means 700,000 people go hungry, right?
Yeah.
And so,
and that's crazy because, like my sister, she just got a little bit of an increase in food stamps.
right, and you see the same thing. But the thing is that if you look at a country like Lebanon, right? Right now they're protesting in the streets, they're tearing the streets up. Hong Kong, they're tearing the streets up against the Chinese government. In Bolivia, they're setting fires to the streets against Bolivia. In Chile, they're setting fires to the streets. But in the United States, they take your food stamp, nobody does anything. If this happened in another country, people would be on hunger strike. The rich people would even the people who are not rich, but
Middle class.
middle class would be, because they would feel an obligation. Because if you don't do it, then these other people are going to come tear up the streets, right? They're going to shut down everything.
Yeah,
They're gonna
but
make sure
we
people
don't
can't go to work.
do that.
because everybody's become complacent. And all they do is tell you here is that all you have to do is vote.
Yeah, but you vote, and what happens with your vote?
Right,
You put them in office, and they do what they want anyway.
right. And then even when you do vote, you don't get much more. You just get back to the status quo. So after this guy leaves, you just go back to the status quo.
Yep. Because whoever's going to be the president after him is going to take 3 years to start to clean up the
Right.
mess that he made.
Right. And they're already deciding who they want. Right? They don't want any of the people. You know the people like
Bernie Sanders.
right, who are talking about free healthcare and free
Bernie Sanders
Right.
and stuff.
They're going to make sure he does not get elected. That's what they did last time.
For Hillary.
Right, but this time they're going to do it for Joe Biden or this other white guy from the mayor guy from the Midwest.
What, Bloomberg?
No, the other guy. Pete something. They would rather Bloomberg anybody, any of those people, because they're just going to go back to status quo.
A yes
That's
man.
what they want. Yeah, yes man. That's it.
As long as he's Republican, that's all they care about.
Well, even if he's not Republican, the Democrats are very different.
Yeah, but they don't want. They don't want a yes man there. They
Democrats, you know, it's the difference. Like Malcolm X, right? The
Mhm.
difference between the Democrat and the Republican is the fox and the wolf, right? Donald
Okay.
Trump is the wolf, but the other ones are the fox. And the wolf will show you its teeth before it bites you. The fox will smile and then bite you. And you
Okay.
won't complain because it doesn't, growl at you before it bites you.
Yeah, before you know it, then bit you.
Right,
It's like a spider.
right, exactly. And you
Because a
don't-
spider, you don't see the fangs.
Right,
They
exactly.
just walk up on you, and before you know it, you're bit.
Yeah, that's it. And it's the same thing, so they tell you vote, vote, vote. But they don't. The difference is that in other countries when they protest, right? When they're protesting, they're telling what it is they demand of you. Here, they say, this is what I'm going to do for you, and you rally around them rather than telling them what you want from them and saying to them, I'm not going to vote unless you do this. Here they say, we'll do this, and then everybody says, okay, we'll rally around them.
Yeah, but then once they get in office, there's something totally different.
Right, because they can't do half the things they claim they're going to do. It's not even
Right.
possible.
Yeah.
So, if, like they say, the Amazon, all these people, they don't pay any taxes, right? So, shut down Amazon. Do something. Shut off Amazon. If everybody in this country shut off Amazon tomorrow, shut off Netflix tomorrow, if everybody in this country said, in other countries they say, I won't go to work. I'll shut down the trains, I'll shut down everything. But in here, just shut down the business. Once the money stops flowing, they say, oh, sorry, we'll do what you say. And nobody has to get killed.
Yeah, but we don't do that.
And you have all this Facebook and Twitter, and everybody can connect and talk to one another. But all they're doing is connecting to say, I saw the pictures from Syria. I saw the pictures from here. And all that's terrible. And they go back there.
Yeah, and nothing's being done. Nothing's gonna change.
And then they say, how did we get here? Well, you've been liking and retweeting and everything else for so long that you didn't notice everything is coming down around you.
You're right, though.
And that's how we get here.
So we just sit back and vote and don't do nothing.
There's one river, I forget where, in southern India, right? You know when you go near a river or a lake and it's very toxic, it's contaminated. It gets that foam.
Yeah, I heard about that. Cause my friend, he looks at National Geographic and stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And I was at his house and I seen that.
The foam.
Yeah.
The foam took over the streets. So it's like streets like this covered in foam, and they said, don't let it touch your skin. Like it was giant bubbles
Yeah.
blowing off.
I
and if it
remember.
touch
I remember.
Your skin, it's gonna burn like toxic. Like that's how bad off we are now.
Uh-oh, I think that's for you.
Oh, I'm feeling a little bit.
Oh, that's it.
I gotta go because it's cold.
All right.
Yes, send me the pic. I'd love to see you.
Okay,
I'll
I got
talk
you.
to you later.
All right.